There is a prison more dangerous than bars of steel, and it's the one we build inside our own minds. Most people are trapped not by circumstance but by thought. But what if I told you right here, right now, that one single shift could unlock those mental chains and completely transform your reality? Let me say this clearly: your life doesn't change when your circumstances change. Your life changes when you change. And it all begins with a mindset shift so powerful, it will feel like waking up from a dream you didn't even know you were having. There is only one thing standing between the life you have and the life you want, and that's the way you think. Shift your mindset and everything else follows, because when your mind is free, your life has no limits. Now, don't just hear this, feel it, act on it, live it. This isn't motivation. This is your new standard. Most people are living in reaction. They wake up reacting to their alarms, their schedules, their bills, their relationships, their past. It's like they're on autopilot, driven by expectation, expecting things to change without ever changing themselves. They expect success because they've worked hard. They expect love because they've given love. They expect peace because they're tired of fighting. But life doesn't reward expectations, it rewards ownership. Here's the brutal truth: as long as you're waiting for someone else to fix it, for something to shift outside of you, for the timing to be perfect, for the signing to come, you are powerless. You are handing over the keys to your destiny, and you're letting life drive you. And that's why so many people feel stuck, not because they can't move forward, but because they've never claimed the wheel in the first place. The moment you stop saying, "Why is this happening to me?" and instead ask, "What am I going to do with this?" everything changes. Ownership is when you decide that your life is your responsibility, not your boss, not your parents, not your circumstances, you. It doesn't mean you caused every problem in your life. It means you have the power to respond with intention, with energy, and with action. That's the difference between surviving and leading. Victims react, leaders respond. People who own their lives don't sit around complaining about the weather. They learn how to dance in the rain or build shelter in the storm. And the power of ownership goes deeper, because when you take full responsibility for your life, you also reclaim control over your emotions. You realize no one can make you feel anything. Your peace, your confidence, your joy, these are yours to build, protect, and project. You stop outsourcing your happiness to people who were never meant to carry that weight. And here's the real gift: once you take ownership, you stop needing permission. You stop waiting to be chosen. You start choosing yourself. That's the mindset that builds empires, that mends broken hearts, that forges unshakable confidence. Not the mindset of expectation, the mindset of full, radical, unapologetic ownership. Because once you accept that everything in your life is either something you created or something you allowed, you also realize this: you can change any of it. And that right there is power. Scarcity is a silent killer. It's not loud like fear or violent like anger, it's subtle. It creeps in through the cracks of your thinking, whispering lies like there's not enough, you're too late, you'll never catch up. And the problem is, most people believe it. They live their entire lives trying to hold on, trying to protect what little they think they have, instead of stepping into the infinite power of what they could create. This scarcity mindset shows up everywhere. In relationships, it sounds like, what if I lose them? In business, it sounds like, if they succeed, that's less for me. In personal growth, it sounds like, I'll never be good enough. And here's the painful truth: when you operate from scarcity, you shrink, you protect, you hesitate, you fear. You stop taking chances, you stop giving freely, you stop showing up fully, and little by little your world gets smaller. But there's a different lens, one that the most fulfilled, impactful people on this planet choose to live through. It's the mindset of possibility. It doesn't deny the challenges, it transcends them. Where scarcity says, "I can't afford that," possibility asks, "How can I afford that?" Where scarcity says, "It's too late," possibility says, "If not now, when?" It flips the narrative. It turns limits into leverage. When you live in possibility, you stop seeing others as competition and start seeing them as inspiration. Till you stop asking if something is realistic and start asking if it's worth creating. You stop waiting for opportunities to appear and start becoming the person who attracts them. This shift isn't just about thinking positive. It's about rewiring your entire emotional and mental blueprint. It's about understanding that the universe, life, God, whatever name you give it, doesn't run out of opportunities, love, money, energy, or miracles. It's not a pie where someone else getting a slice means there's less left for you. It's a fire, and the more you feed it, the more it grows. When you step into a mindset of abundance and possibility, you unlock a force inside you that's been waiting to be unleashed. You get creative, you get resourceful, you see doors where others only see walls. And most importantly, you stop playing not to lose and you start playing to win. That's when your life starts expanding, and most people are terrified of failure, not because they don't believe in themselves, but because somewhere along the way, they were taught that failure means you're not enough. That it's shameful, that it's final. But that's a lie. Failure isn't the end, it's the beginning. It's not a verdict, it's a teacher. And if you're willing to shift your mindset, to see failure not as something to fear, but as feedback to grow from, then failure becomes one of the most powerful tools in your life. Think about how we learned to walk as children. We fell over and over. We didn't cry about it. We didn't quit. We didn't say maybe walking just isn't for me. No, we kept getting back up because failure wasn't personal back then. It was part of the process. But as we got older, the world started labeling mistakes as weakness. School taught us that getting it wrong meant we weren't smart. Society taught us that if we failed publicly, we'd be humiliated. And little by little, we built this fear around trying because failing became worse than never starting. But the truth is, the people who create massive change, the ones who build businesses, heal relationships, write the books, break the records, they aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who learn from it faster. They understand that failure isn't a stop sign. It's a signpost. It's saying, not this way, try again. It's refining you, sharpening you, molding you into the person who's capable of handling the success you say you want. The shift happens when you stop asking, what if I fail, and start asking, what will I learn? Because when you see failure as feedback, every mistake becomes a message, every no becomes a redirection, every setback becomes fuel, and you stop retreating from challenge, you start rising through it. You can't grow while staying comfortable. And you'll never know your real power until you've hit a wall and decided to break through it. That's where real confidence is born, not in pretending to be perfect, but in knowing that no matter what happens, you'll adapt, you'll adjust, and you'll keep moving. Because when failure stops being something that defines you, it starts becoming something that refines you. And that's when you become unstoppable. One of the greatest traps people fall into is waiting. Waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect version of themselves before they take action. They wait until they're more confident, more qualified, more prepared. But that moment never comes because perfection is a moving target. The longer you wait for it, the more power you give away. And that's where momentum dies. The truth is, success doesn't come from perfection. It comes from progress. From doing the small things over and over, even when they're messy, even when you feel unready. It's not about getting it right every time. It's about showing up every time. Because the consistency of your action will always beat the intensity of your intention. Think about it. When you go to the gym once for 4 hours, you don't transform. But if you go for 30 minutes every day for a year, you reshape your body. You rebuild your identity. The same principle applies to your mindset, your career, your relationships. It's the daily deposits that pay the highest interest. And every time you choose progress over perfection, you prove to yourself that you're committed, not to the outcome, but to the process. But most people never get started because they're afraid of judgment, of mistakes, of looking like a beginner. So they stay stuck in their heads thinking, planning, analyzing, and calling it preparation. But what they're really doing is avoiding. And avoidance is the silent killer of dreams. You want to know who wins? the one who moves, the one who takes the step, even when they don't see the whole staircase, the one who releases the need to be flawless and embraces the power of being in motion. Action creates clarity, progress builds confidence, and momentum multiplies results. Every time you do something uncomfortable, every time you make that call, post that video, start that project, speak your truth, you reinforce a belief. I am a person who grows. That belief becomes your identity. And identity drives destiny. Don't aim for perfect. Aim for real. Aim for consistent. Because perfection may impress people, but progress transforms lives. And the life you want isn't waiting for the perfect version of you, it's waiting for the version of you who's willing to begin. So now you've heard it, the mindset shift that has the power to change your entire life. Not a new job, not a better relationship, not a lucky break, but a shift within you. That one internal pivot from being passive to being intentional, from expecting to owning, from fearing to creating, from hesitating to executing. You don't need to become someone else. You need to uncover the part of you that's been buried under fear, doubt, and conditioning for far too long. Because the life you're dreaming of is not waiting on a miracle, it's waiting on a mindset. You have to decide what kind of person you're going to be from this moment forward. Will you be someone who waits for opportunities or someone who builds them? Will you be someone who avoids failure or someone who uses it as fuel? Will you keep chasing perfection? Or will you finally commit to progress? These aren't just questions, they're forks in the road. And every decision you make from here on out either reinforces the life you have or builds the life you want. That's the responsibility and the freedom that comes with this shift. That's the power of owning your mind. There will be days when doubt creeps in, days when progress feels slow, days when fear whispers louder than truth. But that's exactly when you remind yourself the old mindset got you here, but it won't take you there. You didn't come this far to live halfway. You didn't survive all you've survived just to settle. You are not here to repeat yesterday, you are here to reshape tomorrow. And that kind of transformation isn't just possible, it's inevitable when you commit to showing up differently, thinking differently, and acting from the version of you that already knows they are worthy of more. So take this message with you and let it burn in your chest. Your breakthrough isn't out there. It's inside you. It begins the moment you decide to lead your thoughts, not be led by them. To act on your values, not your moods. To shift into a mindset that empowers, expands, and elevates you daily. The world doesn't change when your circumstances improve. The world changes when you do. And it all starts with one decision: to never think the same way again. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this message sparked something inside you, even a small shift, then I know it was worth it. Remember, real change begins with awareness, and now that you've got it, it's up to you to move forward with power and purpose. If this speech added value to your journey, don't forget to like, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what spoke to you the most. And if you're ready for more content that challenges your mindset and fuels your growth, make sure to subscribe and stay connected. This is just the beginning. You're not alone on this path. We're growing together, step by step, decision by decision. Keep showing up, keep believing, and keep shifting into the person you were always meant to be. Until next time, stay bold, stay focused, and never stop becoming who you truly are. Thank you, and goodbye for now.